Rushing out as a goalkeeper, it's probably the most misunderstood and poorly used factors to goalkeeping. People just think rush out whenever you want, do it however you'd like, and you're just going to save the shot anyway. But simply put, no, it's none of that. When rushing out, there's three of the most important things that you need to be doing. First, timing. Second, positioning. And third, it's reading your opponent. And that's what this video is all about, teaching the three most important factors when rushing out. How to read, how to time, and how to position yourself when rushing out of your net. By implementing what I'm going to say, it's only going to help you become a much better goalkeeper than others on this game. Before we get into it, if you want a build that's going to help you become fast, quick, and agile when rushing out, I've put a link in the description to the build video that I just uploaded. That, as well as a video on how to get the best goalkeeping diving animations. So let's get into it. First up, and one of the most important things that I want you to consider when you're rushing out is the timing of when you should rush out. So when should you come out of your box? When should you hold down triangle or Y? Simple answer is just before the opponent is going to take another touch of the ball. It's also just as the opponent enters your box. The clip that I'm showing on the screen now demonstrates exactly what I mean. Take a look at where I'm positioned firstly. Now we're going to get into positioning next, but just as a general rule of thumb, always be ready to rush out. If you know you're going to have to, then stand a bit more in front of your 6-yard box. Now take a look at when I actually rush out. The opponent's approaching my box, there's no sweats available, it's just a one-on-one. Just as he's going to enter my box and just before he takes another touch, that's when I hold down my triangle. Why do I do it now? Because usually opponents take a heavy touch, and if you start rushing out just before they take that heavy touch, you're going to reach the ball before they can do anything. It's so important that you get the timing right. So I read what he was going to do, he was approaching my box, and just before he took that touch, I was in a good starting position to then rush out quickly. He had no time to get off a good shot, and as he shot, I was right in front of him and I was able to save the one-on-one. Again, take a look at this clip here. He's going to take a pretty heavy touch because the ball's in the air, and just before he takes that touch, that's when I decided to start rushing out. I was in a good starting position. Again, we'll get to positioning next. The opponent had just entered my box or was just about to enter my box, and being as my build is fast and agile, I knew I could get to the ball before he'd be able to take another touch or before he could shoot. And even if he did get the shot off, I was right there to save it. There was no way he was going to score. Things to consider though, make sure that there's not a sweat available. If it's a 2v1, you generally don't really want to be coming out. It's something that you want to bait, but that's for another video. Generally speaking, if it's a 2v1 and there's a sweat available, you don't really want to be coming out. Also, if it's a one-on-one and the opposition is coming on an angle, it's super important that you rush out then. So say the opposition's coming from the right side and he's rushing towards you and there's no sweat available, look to do the exact same thing that I've just stated. They just never expect it when they're coming on an angle. And that's something that you can also use to your advantage. Next up, your starting position as a goalkeeper just before you rush out. So important. See, if you know that you're going to rush out, if it's a clear one-on-one, you do not want to be standing back. You don't want to be standing right in front of your net. You want to be lurking right on the edge of your 6-yard box. And you want to be hovering over your triangle or your Y button. If you're standing all the way back, you're not going to be able to get to the opposition in time. And they're going to have much more room to shoot. Let's take a look at this clip. The opposition coming on an angle. I recognize there's no real sweat available. It's really just a one-on-one. And just before I rush out, just before he's going to take a touch, and as he's entering my box, just take a look at my starting position. You know, it's above the automatic circle. It's above the automatic position, whatever you want to call it. I'm ready to go. I'm hovering over my triangle, or on Xbox, my Y. You want to be in a good position to save a shot if he's going to shoot, but you also want to be lurking and ready to rush out. And then I rush out and then I save the shot. It's super important small details like this that make all the difference in the world, and it's really not that hard, especially when you do it more and more. You just get used to it. Same thing applies when he's coming through the middle or even if he's coming on more of an angle. And thirdly, always look to come out of your box, but only when the opportunity presents itself. The best goalkeepers are the ones that are proactive, they're ready to go, they're in your face all the time, and they always capitalize on outfield players not being aware of them. Now, I don't mean always rush out like an idiot. It's just about learning when to stay in your 6-yard box and not rush out, and when you should be coming out. And when there's a one-on-one, no matter the angle, just before the opposition takes a touch, just as he's about to enter your box, whether he's been played an over-the-top ball or a through ball. You know, these are indicators that, yeah, I gotta be coming out of my box. Whereas indicators like when there's a sweat available, or when you know that your defenders are going to be able to defend the one-on-one and catch the opposition from being through on goal, in times like that, it's best to stay in your box. So always rush out, but always rush out only when you need to. Otherwise, stay in your box, get ready to dive. Like I said, I did another video on that. And yeah, that's about it for rushing out. Big things coming soon. Gonna do some more goalkeeping videos like this, some including which save assistant to use, you know, what the difference is, why it's all pretty much BS. I'll get into that later. Goalkeeping kicking videos, playing it out from the back, how to read opponents, and so on. Also, comp 11v11s, they'll be going up soon on my channel. So yeah, hopefully these tips treat you well. It's definitely something that's treated me well and something that I've used for so many years. And I wish you all the best. Catch you in the next one.